and welcome to this edition of the Sundays PowHER chat with Takiyah and Nancy. We are so excited to be here with you today. As always, my name is Takiyah Geddes, and I am a therapeutic kinetic specialist as well as a life and lifestyle activation coach and the creator of the Kinetic Life Revolution.
Yeah.
And we really love to help people align with their essential nature and to release all that does not serve them any longer, the weight of their past from their physical bodies, their mental, emotional as well, as they all work in concert to create the beautiful trinity of being that we are. And Miss Nancy Lewis Hill is an integral part of that entire process. And welcome, Nancy Miss Lewis Hill. Hi, Nancy Miss Lewis Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. I love that. I like just listening to you open this sometimes. It just, I feel so ready. And then you say it and I feel so fulfilled. It's like, I love the purpose of what it is we're doing here. It's just, it's always good. And I feel like it's not, when you hear something, sometimes you feel like you want to join again, kind of a thing.
Yes,
Something good. And every time I hear you open up, I always feel like, oh my gosh, I want to be a part of this as I am. So
yes, 100%. That's so good. Even to have that reinvigorating feeling that I know I'm here. I know where I'm supposed to be. I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Kind of feeling awesome, right?
Right. And I love what we're doing. I love why and what we do and being a part of it. So how are you this week? What is going on?
I'm really good. Yeah, there's been a lot of really wonderful, energetic shifts and and that we have lots of knowledge, in our humanity and lots of wisdom coming from spirit. And there's a beautiful place where that integrates, where you find yourself living the way and no longer contemplating it or
Yeah.
as intensely as you needed to in order for it to be present, right? So I know that was kind of vague, but you understand the concept, right? So like this week there was a for me a focus. I intentionally focused on seeing others as me, as a reflection of myself, as a spark of the divine, and it really allows so much more space and room for people just to be who they are and to do what they do without any kind of reaction, response, or judgment from me. And there's an ease about that kind of just flowing with people that, allows for a lack of attachment, allows for, the ability to not take things personally, the ability to laugh at things more, which I think we all need, just the ability to laugh at ourselves, seeing ourselves do what we do.
Top on the list is laugh at ourselves for sure. At the things we think we tell ourselves and how we play it out. It's like, it's laughable.
100%. So that's the space I've been in this week. And it's really beautiful to watch, the manifestations that come as a result of the ease of energetic flow that's created when you're not obstructing or abstaining. When you're not resisting what is, but you're just being with it and deciding consciously if there's something you want to change or not. So there's a sentiment I think that's kind of deeply embedded, especially in the American culture, that there's a need to work hard in order to have the life that you want.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm hearing some noise. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, that work hard thing. This has been this week has been one of those weeks, actually, the past few days, 2 weeks actually, that I've been feeling consciously putting myself into a space where allowing what is, like what's actually happening, to just be, and not feeling like I don't have to be the I don't have to have my hands on the wheel all the time and just like trying to steer against things or pull things from another direction, and just go, maybe I should just enjoy where we're at, the flow and all. And then working and that piece that you said, if I got it right, was this like the feeling that you're supposed to work hard. right? So I like that you brought it up because one of the things that I was feeling, honestly, this is like, it may not be where you were going with this, but I feel the need to share
Mhm.
is for the past 2 weeks, I've had, I don't know how many moments where I just feel like just flipping the table and say, you know what? I'm completely done with all of this other stuff. I'm done. I'm checking out from the social media world. I'm checking out from all this stuff because I feel like a lot of what I'm seeing is exactly what you pointed out. It's like this loss of fun, and it becomes all this like the analytics of things, and so yeah, you have to get all like, and working hard is not the same as working focused,
Right.
right? Like what you said, you were focused, and there's a big difference. Like if you're just focused on what you're doing, whatever it is, right? You just focused on it. You have a clear sense of where you want to be with it, and just like staying in your zone of where it's going is not the same as working so hard that you don't even come up and enjoy yourself. And it's just, it's like I don't know, it's the grind. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like, it doesn't need to be a grind. Like,
And that's so poignant, right? It's because the thing is, I think that this correlates to so many other aspects of our lives and the way in which we view outcomes and the degree of presence we bring to things. Because
mm,
the process is the sweetness, it's the juiciness, right? The process. And so we kind of sometimes I think forget that this is our life. Like this isn't the warm up, it's not the getting ready, it's not the prep. It is our life. This is it right
this
now.
is it. Like
Yeah,
everything you're in right now is it. This is it.
right.
Right.
So to put off for any length of time, presence and the access to joy, I don't think that the trade-off is worth it, whatever the outcome.
I agree.
And it's not to say that you don't step into a space of more focus, as you said. It's
Right.
just that there's a deeper presence, there's more intentionality, and there is a lightness about you that allows for the flow of spirit to assist, of other people to come into the space, of ideas, of creativity, that all gets blocked when you're like, when you're not a loving receptacle for what's possible,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And maybe that sounds maybe that needs more clarification for viewer. If you're catching that and it doesn't make sense, let us know. But I I get it's a feeling. It's like when you described it, I guess I'm very visual, as you know, and I'm just imagining, um when parents say that I was so busy I didn't pay attention to my kids, and then all of a sudden your kids are grown and you're like, oh my gosh, I was so busy. And every time they came to me, I said, not right now. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. I got too much to do. That's the whole thing within our own lives. I mean, that's just like a piece. It's a glimpse into what it is in our own lives, right? If we are always nose down, grinding, and not actually letting that interruption come in, the good interruptions come in, we're
Yeah.
going to look back and go, oh my gosh, I missed all the sweetness, all the stuff, all the moments that I was creating when my nose was down. And it's okay. Like we get into a drive, you get into a focus mode, but you have to um, I guess we have to set those times that say, I'm going to be really focused on this, and maybe shut the door for just a little bit, but you can't shut the door for like weeks and months. You can't shut out. And because what you're shutting out, obviously, everything you shut out, but you shut out the things that you didn't even know were going to come to help you, to come to inspire you, to come to lighten you up, to spark your joy, as they say, right? Because you shut the door on all that, you kept your nose down, and like you missed some
Right.
really beautiful stuff that was supposed to happen that you just said no, because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this,
Right.
which
And
is laughable.
I thought it didn't show up the way I thought it in my mind. So it's not for
So can't be right.
me. Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
So it's been a really good week that way,
Yeah.
just um clarity comes and creativity comes and blessings unexpected, um, unpredetermined, right? Unplanned. Because I say unexpected, but let's just say unplanned, right? Because I always expect miracles and grace
Right.
and all the goodness to come this way. And
Yeah.
so it's really the unplanned aspect. And that's the juiciness for me. It's that new and more amicable relationship with uncertainty, with the unknown.
Ah,
Uncertainty is a necessary part of life. If we only act out of the known, right, then we limit the possibilities for what can be created. And so we have to leave room for the unknown and the uncertain. And that is where creativity comes. That is where new ideas are sparked. That is where inspiration comes in. And so if we're constantly fighting against uncertainty and constantly trying to get it pinned down to exactly what it is, then it's just like to label a thing is to negate a thing, right? When we look at a thing, it changes. We have to leave room for the transformation and the limitless, infinite possibilities of what can be created. And so that's the space, and shifting
it
that relationship with
is.
uncertainty consciously, I
Mhm.
think is an important factor because, a lot of times what happens is that there's an inkling, a a gentle breeze, and then there's a gust, and then there's a tornado, and then there's a hurricane. And then you find yourself feeling like you're at your wit's end and without options, right? Or
Yeah.
being forced into a situation that you didn't choose consciously, and then so there's resistance, and it's just the quality of the process is diminished in your experience of it. It's not desirable. Doesn't mean that it's not good for you, and it doesn't mean that you still won't get what you need, because I believe you will. It's just,
Sure.
you have a choice of whether or not you listen to the nudge or you get knocked over,
Right.
you know?
Right. And I think when you pause long enough, often enough, I don't think you get knocked over as often. I mean,
No.
you could, you may. It's not to say that you won't ever, but it's almost it's it, I'm so stuck in the visuals. I have so many visuals going on. I feel like, when you're planting seeds and you keep looking down at the soil and you just keep planting the seeds and all these things are happening, but I got to plant the seeds. I got to till the soil. I got to plant the seeds. And you never look up. You miss the fact that there was a glorious sunrise. You missed that a lot of the seeds you planted sprouted, and because all you can see is the stuff that you're about to plant. You can't even notice that, like, if you just pause and take a minute and realize, oh my gosh, look at this is beautiful, or look at, or I'm off course. My planting rows have gone off course. Like, all right, what do I do now? Let's see. Do I rip out all the plants, or do I just say, well, this was unexpected?
Yeah.
What do I make of this? But if
Yeah.
you don't ever pause and appreciate it,
Yeah.
you don't ever get to see any of it, and you never get to see it as an opportunity. And right, you said it's an opportunity for creativity, to allow it into your life, to
Yeah.
allow the joy of the unexpected, um,
Yes.
unplanned.
We are creative beings. And whether you consider yourself a creator or creative or not, you are. You
That's
you
it.
can't you cannot be. You can't be disconnected from that which created you. You are a creator. Creativity is part of our nature,
Can't
as
run from that.
no, we all have imaginations. Just we talked about this once before as well, how we use our imagination either to fulfill our intention or to create obstacles to it. or the
Oh my gosh, right?
So we have a choice, and it's just about being present to what we are creating. And so there's this kind of space where when we get quiet and we just create a little bit of room to see ourselves being ourselves, that we make these decisions about
Yeah.
how we want to show up. And we can ask ourselves questions like, who am I? What do I want? Rather
What do
than
I really want?
being, yeah, and it is here. It's so right. Just this space here is where we are. It's where our presence lives. And And so we ask ourselves these questions and then wait for the answer.
And don't say, no, 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 not that one. I meant the other one.
And if you're in tune, usually it's pretty immediate, and it might show up as a picture or a word, and sometimes we'll dismiss it because it's not what we thought, or it's not what we've been told we were to do, or what we should want, right? Should want is
Right.
big a big a big captor of many people's time and energy. And so yes, and so we ask you these questions, and then we can, when we receive the information, the
Mhm.
wisdom, it becomes wisdom when we apply it, right? It's knowledge until then, right? So that's the deal, you know. So we can use this knowledge and use it wisely in our lives to create the lives that resonate most deeply with our spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, you might, maybe you're watching this and wondering, this just seems so abstract. Sometimes our conversations here, Takiyah, are uh, not about a specific moment. It's about um, realizing that there's a pattern. I think is really, and not having to put it like a dot and say, this was the issue, this was the resolution, but it's more of it's a processing of the way we respond to things, the way we respond to our lives, and seeing that, if we can, just like you said, if you can pause, you can learn to appreciate the moments, and then it becomes, it's an applicable theory. I'm going to put it that way, because once you have that moment of awareness, you start to apply it without intending to, right? Without like sitting there and saying, "Oh, I have to pause." Like somebody might think this is a lot of pausing and like woo woo thinking, and but it's not. It's just getting in tune with you, so that when all of the things come up in your life, that you can see yourself doing this, and you can um, give yourself the gift
Yeah.
of welcoming in what you've learned, welcoming in the ability to see everything with a different eye, because you can see something as an absolute problem, or you can see it as, well, this was unplanned, and what can I do with it? And because you've done it enough, you can start to see that this actually unplanned moment could be absolutely the most fabulous thing ever
Yeah,
if you
usually
allow
is.
it in.
Usually is.
Don't fight it,
Um,
man.
the things that are unplanned are usually more spectacular, miraculous, and wonderful than we could have ever planned.
Yeah, and I actually think it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan, that
Not,
you don't,
not
right?
our, it's not
Right.
our.
It's not part of your plan, my plan. It wasn't part of all the notes on my paper. It's like, you know what? Good. And I feel like it's like the universe, God, or whatever it is that you're guiding forces. Good. I see that you're doing work. I see that you're taking action. Here's a little course correction. Here's a little something for you to contemplate. This might help you. And then if you receive it, you just keep moving into a growth place, or you keep moving into a place of um, maybe not your plan, but actually when you look back on it, it fits your plan perfectly.
It
Because
always
if if you, how you see it, it fit your plan perfectly when you go
it,
back and look.
it's because it gives you what you need, not necessarily what you think,
Boom,
not what you think you want.
boom. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's like it's little kids at a birthday party, right? I want all the candy, I want all the cake, I want all the ice cream. But it's probably not going to be really good for you. All in all, you're going to be sick to your stomach. So what you need is, it may not be all of that stuff at once, but it will be as sweet as all the things you wanted, just allowing it to be what you need and using it.
So is there a specific example that we could give people that would feel more tangible for them? Um, is there a situation you can think of that requires an opening to uncertainty and allowing of things to be as they are, so that you can move into them in a way that feels good to you? Just everything.
I will. I'm in the middle of this move,
Mhm.
And there have been so many moments where I'm just so focused on what I'm up to, and like, no, no, this is not this. I don't have time for that to happen right now because I'm busy here doing this.
Mm.
um, and what I was learning, actually, I liked. I was going to talk about this on my own social media presence because I if this was something that happened, so I'm glad you brought it up. But I look around at all the things that I've collected, right?
Mm.
And I see it as like, oh my God, I cannot come up for air. I've got all this stuff I've got to clear away. I've got all these things I've got to like disposition. Do I keep it? Do I toss it? Do I burn it? Do I donate it? All this stuff. And then it hit me today, actually, that we can be that way with our knowledge. Like it's the same thing. We just keep collecting knowledge and collecting knowledge and collecting. Like I'm going to get to all this stuff. I'm going to get to it all. But are you going to actually use the knowledge that you got? Are you actually going to apply it? Or are you just collecting knowledge? Because that does absolutely nothing for you. So to just to take the time to realize what you have collected for knowledge and awareness, right? So it could be, I mean, it could be tangibly, right? It could be courses that you've taken. It could be, webinars that you learned from, but also spiritually it could be what you learned about yourself. It could be about the things that something that you noticed about yourself. But if you just notice these things and then don't do anything with it, you're
Mm.
missing the gift of it all. You're missing the power of the knowledge
Mhm.
and the joy that comes with it to apply. And all it becomes is stuff that gets boxed up and piled up, like the stuff that I'm trying to go through here. Like they were all valuable at one point, but what value is it to me today if I did not use that? What?
And or to others, because
Right.
when wisdom is applied, it's it's also wisdom because it helps everyone.
Because we're all connected.
It helps everyone. It's
Everyone.
it's the
So
best choice for the greater good. It's what's needed in the moment to help everyone move just a little bit more toward who they are, the truth of themselves.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was my tangible story. I don't know that it was relatable for everybody else, but I hope so.
No, it is.
It was such a big piece for me that today as I sat around and looked at it, I said, "Oh wow."
It is.
It goes back to how you do anything is how you do everything, I suppose, too. Are
Mhm.
you a collector of experiences and not actually realizing the power that you've been given by those experiences?
Mhm.
Mm.
Yes.
So
Yeah, there's really no substitute for experience, right? If we live
nope.
in a world of conceptualization, then it remains there. It remains potential versus actualized experience. And that's what we all seek. And that's why I think so many people feel a little bit detached or like have a more challenging time feeling joyful or reaching a perspective of life or of a situation that resonates with their higher self.
Yeah.
There is a kind of an underlying disconnect, where there is a swirling of information, right, that they've collected, but not an exacting. Like just like when people plan and plan and plan, but then don't actually do it.
I've been in that space. I mean, I'm sure if you're watching, maybe you've been in that space more than once too. But yeah, and planning and getting ready to do and never doing. You're like just missing the piece. You're missing the topping on the ice cream.
I don't even think that you have to get to the point where there isn't anything left to do. But even if when you get there, you still don't do, then there's a factor of fear involved, right? There's something there that's a source of resistance for you. And it's not a good or bad thing. It's a beautiful recognition and an awareness that you can now utilize for your ascension. So, oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that. It's not a good or bad thing. And I know that I've attached the label to the idea of fear being a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? And I know that I've done it more than once, and I know that we've had conversations where I'm sure it was pretty transparent that so rather than acknowledge that it's fear, you avoid whatever that is so that you don't have to feel fear because
Right.
that's a bad thing. So I'm gonna just avoid that. But missing out, not labeling it as bad, just seeing it for what it is. It's fear, and then saying, okay, so good to see you, but we're gonna keep on moving into this. So go ahead.
And what we avoid actually is what we experience. So, I mean, because the only way to avoid something is to constantly know where it is and not go near it. So then your focus is on it. So you're constantly going to be bringing it into your experience over and over.
Ah, that's the wisdom right there.
Yeah.
That's our weekly wisdom minute right there. We say that we don't want to, what you focus on, you attract, right?
Mhm.
And you drive yourself towards it. And we say, I'm sure, I don't know anybody that says, oh, I'm focusing on fear.
Mhm.
I think everybody wants to say, well, no, I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on this because this is a good thing. But you're absolutely right. If it's there and you haven't addressed it, then you're
Mhm.
focused on it. Your inner self knows it's there. And it's always like, I don't want to step on that third rail. So everything I do, I just always give a look back to make sure I'm not near the third rail.
Right. And the thing is that you end up in the vibration of the thing that you're giving your attention to, right? And that is the vibration that you carry into all that you do. So it's really important, just to
Yeah.
have awareness and presence of what's happening for you, to be connected on high and inside, so
Hmm.
that you can make choices that are, resonant, you know.
So good. So I
Yeah.
love working with you.
Woohoo! Well, I think that is a feels like a natural place to kind of come in for a landing. We
I
talked
think we
about a
need
lot
it.
of really good things today.
Yes.
Um, and so I would just say, moving into, as a result of this conversation, what can you take away that you could implement um,
Mm,
right away? And I think it always comes down to just a creating a space, right? And an honoring of the space that you need in order to be connected to yourself in a way that is present um, and allowing of your your authentic experience, right? So if it's not authentic, it's because you're in your mind and it's swirling around and you're reacting, or you're caught up in a pattern, or you're just none of these are bad, by the way. This is
right.
just they're the ways that we sometimes cope. These are the ways that we sometimes navigate when we've not yet ascended to like another level of consciousness or awareness about certain ways of being, or certain experiences or situations that we're just learning how to navigate. This is just what happens. We're human. This is the deal.
Yep.
Um, so you know so I think giving ourselves that space, just that pause, that breath, where we can, let's say, for example, when we're making a decision, before we react out of, obligation, sense what it feels like in your body to pause, to pose the question to yourself: what do I want?
Mm,
What do I want? And listen for the answer. And then have the courage to follow through according to that reply,
yeah.
because it's not always going to be the popular choice.
Right.
Yeah, it might mean saying no, or it might mean saying yes, and you know we all know that that's more complicated than it seems.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. Having support through that is It's so important.
Yes. Well, I want to say that, you know, there is only love. That is all that is real. And you're more than enough. You are necessary to the unfoldment of the cosmos. The puzzle of the universe is incomplete without your input. We await your genius. And we would also love to work with you. If you're in a space where you're looking to make some kind of transformation in your life, whether it's in relationship or in business, or if it's a transformation that you need in your lifestyle, especially, and because this is the home base of our choice making, being custodians of self, right? Creating a lifestyle that truly serves you.
Mm,
And I would venture to say that for most people, if there is imbalance in one area, there it trickles into the other areas, and that's why I say it really doesn't matter which area it is. It always comes back to having a rooted and resonant lifestyle that really serves you, and having the your energy be aligned with your essential nature, your choices, your word, your deeds be aligned, so
mhm,
that you can be free, right? And so often that entails being able to release things from our past so that we can create habits that really serve our bodies as these temples, these wonderful vehicles that carry us through all the
mm.
experiences we will have for the rest of our lives,
Ah,
right?
yes.
So we would love to work with you. We'd love to have more conversations like this, and then get into detail about how they specifically apply to you in your life and how they can help
Mhm,
you ascend, and help you find out where your attention and focus should be in your life for the best outcomes, and energy and experience of your joy. So we're going to drop the link to our group in the chat, and we'd love to hear your feedback of the video. If you know someone that would benefit from it, please share it. We are here every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And Nancy, I'll leave it to you to give your love to the people, and close us out.
ooh. And as always, I love ending our talks with reminding myself and all of you that you are amazingly made. There is absolutely nobody anywhere designed to be you except for you. So, with that knowledge, ah, you get to define every single piece of what that is. So, dive in, enjoy it, and design the crap out of that thing and have a good time with it.
Yes. Beautiful. And I'm so inspired by that. I want to offer this week, if anyone would like a complimentary consultation, say a 30-minute conversation about your next best step to move in the direction of your dreams and your heart's deepest desire, whether that's creating a lifestyle that really serves you, and opening the door to more joy and access to more joy and love in your life. I'm happy to meet with you. So just put in the comments, yes, and I'll be happy to reach out, and we'll connect. Okay.
I
All right.
love it.
Peace and blessings to all. Much love. Yes.
Yeah, and we will be back here. What do you think? Next Sunday?
Next Sunday, 6:30 p.m. ET time.
All right. Be well.
Bye bye.